Did you know that in the excellent first-person shooter Turbo Overkill, you can find this? So, hidden some way off the beaten path is a reference to YouTuber Under the Mayo. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs. If Easter eggs are your sort of thing, perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about, and we are inching ever closer to 900,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Now, you might be wondering how many secrets could be hiding in a game that is well over 3 years old. Well, to be honest, not many. But there are a couple of things that I haven't covered on this channel before. First up, in the rock bottom area, if you tried to catch the bus, this will happen. So, no matter how patient you are, the bus will always leave before you have a chance to catch it. This is a reference to the Spongebob episode Rock Bottom, where Spongebob was trying to catch a bus back to Bikini Bottom. The other Spongebob Easter egg is something that isn't cool, even in 2020. At the Krusty Krab, you can find a fish doing this. I mean, to be fair, it's not every day that you see a fish hitting the dab. Up next is Crew Motorfest. Now, we have covered the seemingly forgotten Crew game on this channel before, with the most recent example being in episode 115 of this series, where we discovered a very interesting souvenir shop. Well, the first of today's Motorfest Easter egg references a show that was once the biggest thing on TV. At this location on the map, you can find a crashed plane. And on the surface of things, that's all there is to it. Well, fans of the TV show Lost will recognise this plane as Oceanic Flight 815. In the pilot episode, the plane crash-landed on a beach, which kicked off the events of the show. Now, if you're still in doubt as to whether this is a reference to Lost, the plane in Motorfest can be found on the same beach that the Lost TV pilot was filmed, which is a nice touch. The other Motorfest Easter egg can be found in the game's clothing store. The chrome baseball cap is almost certainly a nod to the same baseball cap worn by Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2. Next up is Junkworld. Now, if Junkworld looks familiar to you, that's because it's made by the same people responsible for the Easter egg-packed Kingdom Rush series. Unlike Kingdom Rush, where you could only place towers at specific locations, in Junkworld you can place towers almost anywhere you like, which does mean you can really mess up if you don't plan ahead. Now, the chances are that you haven't heard of this game, because unlike the Kingdom Rush games, which can be played on Steam, Android and iOS, Junkworld is exclusive to iOS, which means that the game has received next to no coverage. Still, it does have some really cool references, the first of which can be found on the Crossing District map. So this man stopping bullets with his hand is a reference to this scene from The Matrix. Now, I know that Easter egg is really obvious to some of you, but it might not be obvious to people who don't know the movie. So bear that in mind for the next couple of Easter eggs. Next up, on level 34, you can spot 2 gremlins hanging out by a fire. Just make sure you don't feed them after midnight. And on level 40, you can find this. So this is an attack ball from Dragon Ball Z, and if you look closely, it looks like someone is inside. The final Junkworld Easter egg can be found on map 16, and is my personal favourite. So this is a reference to this awesome scene from the equally awesome Mad Max Fury Road. Up next is our Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week, the segment where we take a look at one Easter egg that has been referenced to death in video games. Today's Overused Easter Egg of the Week can be found in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. On the U-Bahn map, you can find this. So if you have a flashlight equipped, you can spot 4 turtles, a rat and a slice of pizza chilling behind the sewer grate. Now, if I'm honest, I kind of like this Easter egg. I mean, it's better than the standard pizza boxes in a sewer Easter egg that we normally get. But it is still a reference to the turtles, who are referenced all of the time in video games. So that's why it's here. Be sure to join me next time for another Overused video game Easter egg of the week. Next up is Fortnite, with a very well hidden location that is home to some old friends. If you land at this spot on the map, you'll be greeted with a small cave with various chests to loot. Heading further into the cave, you can find more chests before seemingly reaching a dead end. However, if you break the rock blocking your path, you can continue further into the cave, before finding this. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I agree. This cave is just a good place for loot, and not really an Easter egg. Well, if you explore the area, you can find the Coral Buddies from Season 7 of the game. Though, since the start of this season, they appear to be a lot rarer. I mean, I know this isn't the coolest Easter egg ever, but given Fortnite's break anything sort of gameplay, I wouldn't mind Epic adding more cool hidden locations like this to upcoming seasons. Up next is 2018 first-person shooter Dusk. Now, we have covered Dusk on this channel before, but that was all the way back in January 2019, which is now 5 years ago, which is mad. Anyway, in my attempt to bring you Easter eggs from games that aren't the usual suspects, here we are. Just pretend we didn't just talk about Fortnite. First up, on the game's second mission, you have to shoot your way out of a farm. After dealing with chainsaw-wielding tough guys and scarecrows that spring to life, you will reach the end of the level. Well, if you fancy yourself as something of a parkour expert, you can actually hop the gate and find this. I love it when games do stuff like this. It's like they don't want you to be here, but know that some people will definitely try to get here, so leave a message like this just in case. The other Dusk Easter egg references a video game icon. On the game's 4th mission, you can find this handsome chap. So this is Dopefish, from the Commander Keen games. Dopefish has become a popular Easter egg to include in first-person shooters, with perhaps his most realistic and most terrifying appearance being in 2020's Doom Eternal. Right, let's end today's video with Daymare 1994 Sandcastle. Now, in the last episode of this series, I asked you guys if you had anything to recommend from the survival horror freeze 'em up, and I didn't get a single recommendation, which either means that none of you have played it, or you're all bad Easter egg hunters. I'll let you work out which one is which. Anyway, after sharing the Peter Griffin Easter egg in the last video, I did find something else in what is practically the next room. So this hat and golden idol is a reference to Indiana Jones. And again, if that doesn't convince you, you can even find Indy's iconic whip nearby on the floor, which is really cool. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't, please click subscribe, as 900,000 subscribers is getting closer and closer with each passing day, and I'm relying on you guys to get us there. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.